Sex for grades. University professors sexually harassing and blackmailing their students.
Situations have been going on for years, and every single year, every single department, every single student, there's always a story.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Funke Oshin, and today, guys, I've got something very sensitive to talk about, and that is the trending topic: sex for grades. So sit back and relax and enjoy, because this is going to be a very, very intense conversation. Alrighty, guys, first of all, before I go ahead, I must salute the journalist that put this together, the reporter, that is Kiki Modi, for putting this together. I salute the BBC Africa team, the BBC Africa the team. I salute you guys, and especially Kiki Modi, I salute you. I can't imagine the dilemma that you went through in putting this together. Are you thinking maybe it is risky or not? You thinking maybe you'll be safe after releasing this? I salute your courage. I salute your doggedness. You said it took you 9 months long to put this together. I salute you and your team, and I'm a broadcast journalist myself, so I feel challenged, and it just gives me more challenge to do better in my career. Well done to you guys. So let's talk about sex for grades. The major thing that I'm here to talk about is about how the society received this news. The day it was released, everyone was applauded, everyone was awed, everyone applauded the team, and everyone, literally, there's nobody that didn't believe this story. Everyone was like, wow, so these people can be this perverted, and it got me wondering and got me thinking, how hypocritical can we be? A few months ago, there was a similar story about sexual assaults that trended everywhere in Nigeria, and that is talking about the story of Busolo Dakolo and Biodun Fatoyinbo. Just like if we're going to weigh how well people took the story, we're going to do it 70-30. 70% didn't believe what she said, 70% really questioned what she said, and questioned the credibility of the story, and 30% were behind her. Those 70% didn't believe majorly because the man is a pastor, and they believe that she didn't have evidence. What evidence do you have? People were really questioning her that, why did you scream? How would the man not clear her? Why are you wearing this? That was she on nightwear? How can a sister be up? Literally, people just said that she was lying and they didn't believe the story, and this went on and on. But in this case right now, the major person that's trending in this sex for grades documentary is Professor Boniface, who also happens to be a pastor in Foursquare Gospel Church. Now, this time around, people are not shouting, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm." People are not shouting that the students, and especially Kiki Modi, wants to destroy the body of Christ. No, why? Because there's an evidence backing this up, because there are video clips backing this up, and because it was thoroughly investigated. Now, what I just think about is how stupid can we be? The society is so messed up and so close to being destroyed. Are we now to say that everyone has to walk around with cameras? Because yes, you don't know what could happen, you don't know what can happen in the future, you don't know what can happen when you're walking, you just enjoy your life. Anything can happen. There are perverts everywhere, there are rapists everywhere. So in case anything like this happens to you, if it happens to you, if you don't have an evidence, no one will believe your story. Now everyone is eager to share the story, everyone is eager to make it trend, everyone is eager to know the pastor, everyone is eager to see what comes of the pastor. When the news came out that he took what poison and attempted suicide, we were like, wow, okay, and so what? I know, die in hell. Some people were like, no, don't die, you need to face your jail term, this needs to go to court. The church took the step of suspending him from being a pastor. The school took the step of also suspending him. But what happened to Biodun Fatoyinbo? Even after Timi Dakolo came out to show threats of people without uniform posing to the policemen came to his house, people were like, maybe it's a made-up story. We are so messed up in this country. We have shot up a whole lot of victims because of how the story is going to be, perceived. I even said I wasn't going to talk about it, but it kept on ringing in my heart, and I just kept on feeling that I just really needed to share. I've not really gone through sex for grades. I've had stories of people who went through it. But then I know what it is to be sexually assaulted. I know what it is to go through sexual assault. If you have been following my videos, my uploads, you know that I told a story of how I kept malice with God and how I was raped. I'll put the link below if case you want to catch up on that story. So I know what it is to be violated. I know what it is to be assaulted. I know what it is to be raped. Fine, this case is not talking about rape, but it is about assault. When you are, taking advantage of someone's vulnerability. These students are vulnerable. They really need to pass their exams. They really need to come out in flying colors, but their brains are not probably just capable enough to capture whatever it is they're supposed to capture. Now you know this and you're taking advantage of it. Now, like I said earlier, I've never gone through sex for grace, but I've heard stories of people who went through it in school. Back then I had a friend whose sister, had 3 years carryover, not because she was dumb, not because she was a dullard, not because she wasn't brilliant, but because this lecturer, who happens to be the HOD, wanted to get on with her, and he kept on failing her. She was 2 years ahead of me. I left her in school, so I don't know how the story ended, but I know that this was going on in her life. How cruel can this be? Can these people be? Because you're in a position of power and because you have the power to do and not do, you're taking vulnerability, you're taking advantage of people's vulnerability and taking advantage of their yearnings and their wants. It is not only sex for grades, it happens everywhere. Sex for jobs, sex for appointments. You're looking for a job, the HR demands to sleep with you, the boss himself demands to sleep with you before you can get the job. You are a marketer. That rich person that would, increase your target wants to have sex with you before you can invest in your company or before you can buy your product. It happens everywhere. Now I want to say all these people should always walk around with cameras so that when it's time to talk about their story, they will have video backups. This is so stupid and annoying. And it's not like sex for grades is just happening. It has always been happening. It's not like we were ignorant of this and now that BBC did the report, they are now aware. No, it is something that has been occurring for years. And the stories probably didn't have anything. The stories ended there. The students couldn't talk about it because they didn't have stories to tell, because they didn't have backup. Last year, or was it earlier this year, the same story came out about an OE lecturer. Thankfully, the students had a recorded audio for their conversation. But those who had nothing to offer, was their fate. Those who had no stories, no evidence to back up their stories, what is their fate? Or what was their fate? And for those who still go through this, what will be their fate? Things happen. We cannot say rape or sexual assault will totally come to an end. There will always be perverts. There will always be men who can't keep their stick into their pants. There will always be men who is ready to get down on anything that has boobs and ass and anything that has, that wears skirts. They will always be ready. So we can't say this should end. But what we can say to end is how the society treats this. The trauma that the victim goes through is enough, not even now add to the trauma that he or she will now go through after telling their stories. I'm saying he or she because it also happens to male. You see a male student, a female lecturer asking to sleep with the male students, to have sex with the male students before the male students can pass. It happens. Another thing that gives me issues is how our parents bring us up. How parents bring up their children. So the two students that came out and were masked and they told their story to Modi, I'm most sure, I'm like 99.9% sure that their parents didn't think about this. African parents just believe that as long as you are giving the child clothing, feeding, as long as the child is feeding well, and as long as the child has money and all that, you're fine. As long as you provide for this child, everything is okay. Everything is totally not okay. This child needs emotional backings. This child needs emotional support, mental support. I went home recently and myself and my brother, we finally talked about my rape case. Before I released the video, I didn't tell anyone about my family for 4 years, and they got to know even from the video. I didn't sit down with anyone about my family to talk about it, and I was like, how come? How did you keep it to yourself? And I was like, we weren't brought up in a way that we can have this kind of conversations with ourselves, neither with parents or with the siblings. And it's like this in almost all homes, all African homes. As long as the child has provision, everything is fine. It is not fine. It goes beyond how well you can provide for your child. Parents should be in the position of best friends to their children. Your children should be able to open up to you and to tell you absolutely anything. If children can open up to their parents, if students can open up to their parents, this kind of assault will go down, because the parents will take it upon themselves to go to school, to the schools, and to make sure that this ends. You cannot plant a camera on your children to know what is going on in their lives in school. A lot is going on. Some parents don't even ask of their children's grades. Not asking in a harsh way, because some people ask in a harsh way, I will kill you if you fail, and this will lure the child to give in to the lecturer that wants to pass them as long as they give in to him. It is so alarming that people really, really, really welcome this video, because people really, really welcome this story, this documentary, because there are video backs. And now the federal government is ready to take actions. The school has taken action. They've suspended the teachers, especially Professor Boniface, the so-called pastor. The church suspended him. Everyone is ready to take action because there is a video backing up the story. Children now be walking around with cameras. God just has to, come to our rescue at the end of the day, because at the end of the day you see that you are already one. Who's got yourself? No one's got you. Just hope that someday this will get better and our enlightenment will be broader. Just to know that we are the ones to save ourselves. This is no longer a federal government thing. It is our thing. Enough is enough. It's high time we started believing stories. When victims come out, embrace them. Embrace them. And the funny thing is, whenever a victim comes out to talk about maybe one hoodlum or one unknown person or one riffraff raping him or her, we tend to believe. But when it's someone in a high or at a high pedestal, now you start asking for evidences. I'm sure the pastor, that wasn't his first time of assaulting people. I'm sure some people might have come out to say this pastor is doing this to me. But because they had no video back then, they had no evidences, the story would die down. We no longer know what is going on about Pastor Obiorifatoyinbo and Mr. Dakolo's story. We don't know what's up again. We don't know. There are nothing about the story again. Why? He's a known man and his image has to be kept. There are even stories of some police officers helping him out and all that. We live in a dead society, and it's high time we awaken ourselves. Thank you so very much for watching today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, share, write your comments down below. Let me know what you think about my opinion on this issue. And what are your opinions too? I want to know. Share them with me. Share them with every other person watching. I'll see you next time. My name is Funke.